Let me tell you a story about two inseparable friends, Tommy and Jake, who grew up in a small neighborhood back in the 90s. Their adventures weren't anything extraordinary, but looking back now, they were everything that made childhood magical. Every morning, they'd meet at the big oak tree between their houses. That tree wasn't just a meeting spot. It was their spaceship, their castle, their secret hideout. They'd spend hours up there, planning their next great adventure while sharing peanut butter sandwiches that their moms had packed. One summer day, they decided to become explorers. Armed with a broken compass Tommy's grandfather gave him and a hand-drawn map on the back of Jake's math homework, they ventured into the woods behind their houses. They were convinced they'd discover ancient treasures or maybe even dinosaur bones. Instead, they found an old tire swing, which became their new favorite spot. They had this funny tradition of collecting bottle caps. Each cap had a story: the orange soda they shared after winning their first Little League game, the root beer from Tommy's birthday party, the grape soda from the day they built their first fort. They kept them in an old cookie tin, buried near the oak tree, their own time capsule of memories. Rain or shine, they'd be out there, turning cardboard boxes into race cars, fighting imaginary dragons with stick swords, or trying to catch fireflies in mason jars at dusk. They believed in magic, not the kind from fairy tales, but the kind that existed in everyday moments, like when they'd lie on their backs in Tommy's backyard, finding shapes in the clouds and dreaming about what they'd be when they grew up. There was this one time they tried to start a neighborhood patrol with their bikes. They'd ride around with playing cards clipped to their wheels, making motorcycle sounds and checking to make sure everyone's gardens were safe from imaginary villains. Mrs. Johnson from down the street would always play along, thanking them for keeping her petunias protected. They weren't perfect kids. They got into their share of trouble, like the time they decided to make a swimming pool by flooding Jake's backyard with a garden hose, or when they attempted to build a tree house using only duct tape and their dad's tools they weren't supposed to touch. But even in their mischief, there was an innocence that made it impossible for their parents to stay mad for long. What made their friendship special wasn't the grand adventures or elaborate plans. It was the simple belief that anything was possible. They saw the world through eyes unclouded by doubt or cynicism. A cardboard box wasn't just a box, it was a submarine exploring the ocean depths. A blanket fort wasn't just blankets and pillows. It was an impenetrable fortress protecting them from alien invasions. Looking back now, those days seem like a beautiful blur of laughter, scraped knees, and endless possibilities. Tommy and Jake taught us something precious, that the purest joy often comes from the simplest things, and that friendship, especially in those innocent years, can make even the most ordinary days feel extraordinary.